So hopefully you guys enjoy the mix, enjoy the music, enjoy the composition. I myself enjoy it a lot. Let's dig into the mix, all right? So first off, I'm gonna isolate the drums and the percussions. Let's hear them by themselves. Now you can obviously hear, if you are accustomed with world styles of music, especially Latin music, there's a reggaeton beat in there, but it's not a reggaeton song. So those loops are there to enhance the rhythm, but the real beat of the song is the kick and the snaps. And we want to enhance the kick. So for that, we're using these grouped samples, which are provided by the producer. They're being summed into this aux kick track. And we're using an instance of the AFX plugins here on channel 1. So let's have a look. Now, whenever you're going to approach mixing drums, at least when I do it, I interpret it in two ways. Either they want a better version of what they have, or either they want something that's just going to be completely, on the opposite scale, like to impress. In this case, I was talking to the producer and he said, look, I love the mix the way it sounds. Let's just enhance it a little bit. So we're not going to rebuild the wheel here. So the plugins that I'm choosing here are going to be most transparent to enhance the kick drum without completely rebuilding it. All right. First up, VEQ-4K. With this, we're going to use the boost on the low end at 60 Hertz to just enhance the low end. And then we're also going to use the boost at 5K to give it a little bit more focus. Let's go ahead and solo our kicks, and let's check that out. That's the enhanced focus right there. And that's the enhanced low end. Next up, we're going to use a version of the VEQ-4K Brown. This is modeled after a console EQ, and there are variations from this. So you have the 4K orange, black, brown, and pink. And I like to use the brown one on drums because it can get you some nice grit and aggressiveness. In fact, even though we're boosting 60 Hertz here with the first EQ, which is a passive EQ, we're going to be boosting 50 Hertz with a low frequency here on the low end, just to give a little bit more punch. So let's go ahead and reset these settings and check it out. Let's go ahead and hear that on the track. So without rebuilding the wheel here, we're able to enhance and massage the kick drum a little bit so that it cuts through on small speakers with the focus, and it's also going to hit hard on large systems. Now, typically when I get the tone of the EQ sounding just about right, then I make a decision if I want to make it sounding louder. Now, instead of just cranking up the fader on the mixer, I like to use the impressor because what it does is that it kind of squeezes it a little bit, even though it's not compressing, and it just brings it up forward in the mix. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the input knob to adjust the right volume of this kick drum in context with the mix. So let's check that out. So that's really nice right there because it allows the kick drum to sound focused and cut through on small speakers, on large speakers, and it just fits right in the pocket of the mix. The other thing that I want to do is I want to combine all my percussions and my drums to a stereo aux and apply some processing there. For that, we're going to use the VEQ-4K Pink, which is different from the brown one. And the reason it's different is because the low mid frequency and the high mid frequency can go lower and higher than the low frequency and the high frequency. What I mean by that is this button right here called divided by 3 or multiplied by 3. So what that means is that on the high mid frequency, I can crank this up to 7K. I can engage this button and it's gonna give me access to an ultra high frequency. So we're gonna use that to create some prettiness around the percussions. So let's jump ahead into another section where we have some percussive elements, and let's check that out. Okay, good. I like this section right here, so let's check it out. So we're gonna use the gain knob and we're gonna boost up those nice, pretty frequencies up there. Let's check that out. And what that does to me is that it makes the drums and percussion sound expensive. All right, we're gonna do the same thing with the low end, but again, use some small amounts here, be very gentle with it. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to use the same trick that we used on our kick, which is basically using the amp pressor as a volume knob. So let's check that out. Yeah, that's very nice. So that's it for the drums. In the next video, we're going to dive in and process our bass guitar.